As we've discussed so far in the book, the world around us is physically real, we're told. That it's solid, objective, independent of us. But that may not be the case, because modern physics increasingly describes reality in terms of information, probability, and hidden structures we never directly perceive. And when you really push the logic far enough, the universe starts looking less like stuff and more like a rendered experience. So here's the question. If reality is being generated somehow, how would we ever know the difference? Physics, Consciousness and Reality, Dickie Dredd and Nigel Adams. This is part 14 in the video series. We're still on chapter 2, Beyond Physics, Mind, Evolution and Perception. So section 10 in the book, are we living in a simulation? The idea that we might be living inside a simulation has moved from the fringes of science fiction to serious philosophical and scientific debate. It's not that physicists believe we are all trapped in the matrix, but that the structure of reality itself raises unsettling parallels with computation. The most widely cited version of this argument comes from Nick Bostrom. He proposed that if advanced civilizations can create vast ancestor simulations populated by conscious beings, then one of these three possibilities must hold. Either no civilization ever reaches that level of technological capability, or they reach it but choose not to run such simulations, or they reach it and run large numbers of them. If the last scenario is true, then statistically it would be far more likely that we are inside a simulation than living in the original physical reality. Physics itself gives this thought experiment weight. As explored earlier, spacetime may not be fundamental, but emergent from deeper patterns, perhaps mathematical or informational in nature. John Wheeler's "it from bit" vision, that reality arises from binary information, sounds suspiciously like computer code. The holographic principle, described in the earlier section, which suggests that our three-dimensional universe could be projected from a two-dimensional surface of information, echoes the architecture of digital display. Stephen Wolfram's cellular automaton style models take it further, describing the cosmos as generated step by step by simple updating rules. If the universe behaves like a computation, then the simulation metaphor is difficult to avoid. Evolutionary biology also plays a role. As we have seen, our perceptions are not transparent windows onto the world, but survival-driven icons, simplified user interfaces. Colours, sounds and shapes are tuned to fitness rather than truth. In that sense, we already live in a simulation of sorts, not imposed by aliens with advanced hardware, but by natural selection shaping the brain's rendering of reality. The desktop icons we experience are no more the real circuitry of the world than the blue folder on a computer screen is the actual structure of silicon. Consciousness complicates the picture. If awareness is fundamental, then any simulation that instantiates the right patterns may be suffused with the same presence. Integrated information theory, and we talked about that in section 2, with its claim that consciousness tracks integrated complexity, suggests a simulated brain might be just as aware as a biological one. On the other hand, if consciousness is not computational or rooted in the very ground of being, then no simulation can ever produce it, only imitate its behaviour. A simulation debate therefore connects directly to the hard problem of consciousness. Is subjectivity tied to information processing, or does it run deeper than any code? Technology sharpens these questions. Artificial intelligence systems now produce convincing language and images, but do they experience anything? If they do not, then a simulated world could contain countless entities that act conscious but are not. If they do, then we may already be creating conscious minds in silico. Either way, our own experiments with digital minds give us a preview of the stakes, and we've got a couple of sections on AI later. Critics point out that the hypothesis is unfalsifiable. If we are in a simulation, any evidence could itself be simulated. Yet the point is less about proof than perspective. Thinking of reality as a simulation underscores how provisional our models are, how much mediation lies between the world and our experience of it. It is a modern echo of Maya in Hindu thought. We'll talk about that in part B. Or the Buddhist sense that what we take to be real is crafted illusion. Again, we'll talk about that later. Whether or not we are literally in a cosmic computer, the simulation metaphor highlights the gap between appearance and foundation. If the universe is a simulation, who or what is the programmer? The question is deliberately left hanging. It risks smuggling theology back into it by another route. But as a thought experiment, it forces us to confront the limits of knowledge. At best, we can explore the rules of the game, but whether the game is ultimate reality or just one layer in an infinite regress. Simulation idea is not just science fiction. It grows naturally out of physics, information theory, and the limits of perception. And if that's true, then reality may be far stranger than simply matter existing out there. Which means the problem isn't just whether the universe is programmed, it might be whether human consciousness can ever access reality directly at all. And if that's the case, what if everything you've ever experienced is only the interface, never the source? Okay, next up, still in Chapter 2, Beyond Physics, Mind, Evolution and Perception. And we go on to Section 12, Systems Theory, Wholes, Parts and Patterns. And information on the book. So I've ordered I've ordered the first chunk of books, and first I'll get a proof copy, which will come in the next day or so, hopefully, and then I should be able to get the rest of them and get it up on the website, and you can get your copies.